you are when you're looking into a relationship, thinking about the things that you deserve, the things that you want to have, to experience, to receive, and even to give, right? I feel like there's a big um disparity, like a big space between what the expectations are that we have and in general what we communicate. So I had some questions that I got in my inbox that I'm definitely going to um, go back to and answer. I had some questions on Instagram in my story. I had a couple people ask questions, I think, also on my TikTok story. So if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the box now so we can talk about it. Drop your comments. Hi, hi, hi. Thank you for being here. Hello, hello. Um, so I stated it earlier this week that I don't talk about like my previous relationship a lot, even though I talk a lot on my page about like love, loving yourself, finding love, the respecting the concept of relationships, things like that. Like I definitely have those conversations, but I felt like, you know what, this is a time where I kind of need to reset. I kind of need to acknowledge the space that I'm sitting in, where not only is this that I talk about relationships, like time that I talk about love and I talk about relationships, but I also have to be very transparent about what it is that I've experienced before. I am divorced. I am a happily divorced woman. And I mean, and I would honestly bet money that my ex-husband is a happily divorced man, like, because we weren't happy in our marriage when we were approaching the end of the time anyway. So it's like, all right, well, hey, it's like, all right, well, you know what? I have to be realistic. I have to be realistic about the situation that I was in, situation that I was perpetuating, the ways that I supported it, the lack of I guess, level of deserving that I felt. So I accepted the crap that I didn't want to accept in the first place. And like also expand on just what I've been talking about, right? So where's this coming from? So no, yeah. So last week I was away. I went on a little vacation to the beach with my best friend. And when I came back, I told the story. This was in my one of my recent posts. When I came back, Clyde had cleaned the apartment. He left some flowers for me by the bed and also in like my vase in the kitchen. And it was really nice. It was just really nice to receive. It was really nice to experience. And especially those of you who knew like the personal people that I really know for real that are in this live, they know how different that was. And so I started off the story by telling, like, honestly, when the day that I changed my last name to my ex-husband's last name, one of my best friends, she said to him, don't you think like so Stacia's going and like she's becoming yours today, like for real, this is happening. So, you think, I think she deserves something, something, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, nope. And I swear to God, we all thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke. She thought it was a joke. We were like it was kind of an eye roll kind of joke. But then it wasn't a joke. And it's like, all right, so now it's not funny. Like you really were like, nah, she don't deserve that. Oh, damn. Well, I also want to say this. Uh, in the process of us getting engaged, he literally had a choir of small children sing one of my favorite songs to me so that he could propose. So, what I'm saying is, things really changed and shifted in the time that we were in this relationship. Because it's strange to think that the person that would do one would also do the other, right? Like, at least for me, like, I feel like it's strange. And I questioned it and I asked what happened. And I asked what happened as far as like several things in our relationship. And I was asking and I was trying to receive change. I was trying to um receive more. Sorry, I missed your Candy Candy. No, why do I feel this so deeply? Same experience. Yeah. So like this is a common thing, I think. And so here's where why I want to talk about it, right? I feel like it's pretty common, and honestly, it's 100% of relationships, to be fair, that change. 100% of relationships need to experience change, are going to experience change. The people in relationships are going to experience change. They are going to ooh, sorry, I'm just in people's way. You're going to change as a person. And a big thing that I have noticed and I've had conversations with people about, if you decide later in your life to start yoga, if you are in a partnership that is not going to support your growth, ooh, you about to break up. That might be scary. That might be positive. That might be negative. Yes, it is growth. It is. It is definitely growth. But yeah, that relationship could and probably will very easily end. Now, if you're in a relationship that already does support your growth, supports who you are as a real person, you're with someone that is looking for the more of you and in a very supportive way, not in a like, well, you're not enough kind of way, because that's also a thing, right? If you're with a person that is ready to facilitate and be there by your side in the times of growth and change happening in your life, you will be in an amazing place. But if you're not, get ready to say goodbye to the comforts of your relationship. And I mean that in the best way possible, right? If I had just decided to say, oh, well, instead of taking the emotional growth that I have, I'm just going to accept the BS that I've been getting recently. No, that's no. That's not the choice you're going to make, because you're going to choose yourself. You're going to want to choose yourself more, right? So really that leads me back to the point of this, right? So like I said, this was a man who he did these nice things, these elaborate gestures. He was very loving, very doting. And then things shifted. And I talk about it in a sense of like, you definitely have to take care of yourself. If you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to be interested in taking care of other people. You're not going to be interested in other people's growth. You're not going to be interested in how other people work or move or try to love somebody else. You can't love somebody else well if you're hating yourself. And I'm gonna be honest, that's true as well, as no matter which direction you take it. Because if you hate yourself, but you're a people pleaser, yeah, no, not better. It's it's not better. You think you're doing all these things for people, and you're like, well, how come they don't appreciate this? You don't even want to do it. This isn't happening out of the goodness of your heart. This is happening because you're trying to keep people liking you and keep people okay with you. That's not a real thing for you. That's not you expressing yourself. That's not you being the person you need to be. So as long as you continue to be this fake person that's willing to jump for this person and move for that person and do this and do that, and yeah, sure, these people will like you in the perspective of where they are. They don't actually like you. They don't actually want to be around you. And you don't actually like you. You're not playing up who you are as a person. And I feel like that was true of myself as well, which is why I have to acknowledge it. I am out here being honest with y'all because I know what role, at least to a degree, that I played in those shifts and those changes in my relationship. And I feel like I'm seeing it more where people are actually talking about accountability. And then unfortunately, we are also, as women specifically, getting a bad rap. Like, we don't take accountability. We don't take feedback on how we're acting and things like that. And the thing is, for me, that like I feel like yoga 100% helps with that because of the concept of directness. If you have more practice receiving feedback, receiving information from a place that allows your ego to kind of take a seat, you can really get through anything. Because it's literally the directness, the straightforwardness of those instructions. If I tell you to extend your arms this way and lengthen that way and find your tall spine and this, that, and the other, look up proudly, open your heart, connect with the or the ground below you, connect with the sky above you. If I'm telling you these direct things, even though they sound a little abstract, But you can take the feedback that, oh no, but I wasn't looking this way, but my spine was not aligned, and now I've found the alignment. Now I've shifted. Now I'm taller. Now I'm breathing in a deeper breath, right? If you can take those instructions and you can move with them well, you can do that in your relationships as well. And I think the biggest part about that, which I will go to the questions very soon. So if you have questions, please make sure you drop them. Please make sure, please make sure that you are sharing and you're asking, because I want to talk to you. I want your feedback. I want your experiences. But we have to take our implicit roles in it, right? So in this time of the things that were happening in my relationship, I know that it didn't start at no, she doesn't deserve this. It didn't start there. It devolved throughout time. And that's just kind of what happens, especially if you let it, right? I feel like when it comes to women, we get and like honestly, people that get more complex, if you wanted to get more complex, you do. You get into different likes. You start spending your money on different things. You start spending your time in different places. You specifically want to go here. You want to go to out to these kind of restaurants more, or you want to go out to these kind of activities more. Like you become more complex. You become more specific as we get older because we like it. Now, if you grew up too specific or in a way that really doesn't suit you, it was just your family, right? You might get more general. You might get simpler. You might get a little calmer. You might say, you know what? I don't need all these details. I don't need to go do this, that, and the other. I don't need to participate in this. You really might find that space of simplicity, and that could be right for you, right? And if it's right for you, then it's right for you. But the problem is there, while you're getting more simple and you get older, the other people are getting more complex and we're getting older. And so the person that you thought that you were compatible with at this age, a couple years happen, and then you're not anymore. Now, I think that this is where we really have to take into consideration who we are. If I know that I'm this person that I like to be dramatic, I like a little bit more, and I'm allowed to like a little bit more action, a little bit more movement, then I should embrace that, and I should be real about that, and I should talk about that, and I should be open about that when I'm searching for a new relationship. And just on the same thing on the other side, if I want things simple and I want things peaceful and this and the other, I should also express that I want things to be peaceful and I want things to be simple. Hey, I just want to let you know I love the line that shows up at your calves every time you flex your legs. Thank you so much. You know, it's one of the things that I'm vain about. Not a lot. I'm not vain about a lot of things. My calves are pretty defined at certain times. Thank you. I'll take a compliment anytime. That's my personal level of maintenance. But thank you. Right, so you, in these times that you work on yourself and you make this growth as who you are and who you are as a person, and what you want to do and the activities and the things you like, and your career and whatever it is, whether it's your education, the the concept of you being who you are and the most who you are will attract the person that you want to have, right? Or well, and I'll say this. Let me take that back. Let me take that back, because that's not true. The more you are of who you are, the more you are yourself, the more you show yourself honestly and share who you are, and the more you will attract somebody that matches that and aligns with that. And I think that that's kind of the biggest thing here. Do you actually want somebody that aligns with who you are? Or do you want somebody aligned with something that you are pretending to be or imagine yourself to be, but you actually do not participate in at all? Because a lot of people are in that space. And I've seen it plenty of times, and I've had conversations with a lot of women. Oh, thank you. Like I've had conversations with a lot of women, and it's like, all right, well, he said he wanted this. He said he had these goals and dreams, and I had these goals and dreams, and I was determined, and I was this, and then he didn't come through with this, and he didn't want to participate in that, and he didn't want to do this. And I've heard the stories more so on the other end, as well, like a man thinking like, oh, well, she said she wanted this, so I did this. And then it turns out she didn't want that, and this and the other. And I think all of these things boil down to communication. We don't feel secure communicating the things that we want. And sometimes that's because we're not sure. Okay, we have to accept that. Sometimes we're not sure what we want. And for me to give you a declarative statement about what I want, I could be wrong. Just like they tell you at 18 years old that you can enlist in the military or you can go off to college and sign off for $200,000 worth of debt. Yeah, you didn't know what you wanted at that point in time, probably. And if you understood the consequences, repercussions, implications of XYZ, you probably would not have signed off all of that stuff. That's just real. And I think as adults now, right, we can take the space as adults and say, you know what? I'm an adult. I need to reevaluate the space that I'm in. I need to reevaluate the contracts that I have, the connections that I have with people, the relations that I have. I have I have the autonomy, I have the strength within me to make those decisions, include people in my life that I love and love me back and are all supportive and whatever. And I have the autonomy as well to leave these people that aren't, throw them away, leave them alone, whatever. I don't need them. and and it's hard. It's hard to do that because what if you feel alone at that point, right? That's really hard. That is really hard to do. And I want you to acknowledge that. I'm acknowledging it with you. It is hard to throw out the people that will not serve you because you have loved them forever. And so maybe you don't throw them out, but you take a step away from them. And then you see yourself taking a further step away and isolating yourself and not talking to them and not letting them know how you feel and not conveying your actual feelings, wants, needs, desires. Yeah, then you end up not being yourself. Which one's worse? Losing yourself or losing the people that aren't there for you? That's something to really, really, really consider. And it's hard. These are things that I talk about with people in coaching all the time. I feel like I'm losing my friends because what they do is not what I want to do, and I'm not this and they're not that. You might be. And that doesn't mean it, and I'll say this. Oh, and I've had this written down in my video notes for a long time too. I just haven't, I feel like I haven't found the right phrasing. I feel like I like talking to y'all, and then when I get the words right, then I'm like, let me make this into a little snippet. But when it comes to the concept of like making the connections with people that you want, the fear of being alone, right, is what holds you back from being around the right people. The wrong person will hold space in your life like a reoccurring gym membership payment that you ain't never going to. It's just going to take from you. Take and take and take. You're getting nothing out of this but being used. That's it. But if you can express it, how you feel, you can express what you want, and honestly, straight up acknowledge what you want, right? Like that's really the conversation that I have with people in these coaching sessions. What is it that you actually do want? What are the things that you're looking for? Are you receiving that? Once you can make up your mind, like, yes, I want this to happen, I expect this. Once you can get those things down and know that you expressed them confidently and clearly, it is so easy to walk away from the person that's not providing them. Walk away from the job, walk away from the person, walk away from the family member, walk away from that childhood friend, whatever it is, the person in the situation that you've outgrown. If you can acknowledge what that actually is, like checklist style, it is so much easier for you to say, yeah, no, I don't want none of this crap. And you can walk away. You can walk away. You can get away from it. You can leave the situation completely. And you have the right to do that. You have the autonomy to do that. I know for myself, right? So again, relationship, and this is not just him. This is experience that I've had and experience that I've heard other people have. Sometimes you do get to the point where you're talking about it. You're having the conversation. You're like, okay, I said I want this. and they did it like one time. And then you waited 6 months. I promise you they didn't want to do it. And at that point in time, this is now you have the opportunity to remind them like, hey, remember when I said I wanted this? They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. They don't want to participate in your life this way. Either they don't think that you're worth putting in that effort and energy. And I'm sorry. And I really don't mean that with any disdain. Like, they don't believe you're worthy. That means they're not worthy of your time either. Thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. The concept of being there, being a participant in your life, wanting to change for you, changed behavior is the best apology, is the best way to show effort, is the best way to show dedication. That changed behavior, that effort there. And like this, I will say this, if you're asking somebody to change a way that they didn't know that they were processing or that they didn't understand because this is how they grew up, please give them an opportunity. Give them a chance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've almost reached my live goal, which is amazing. Thank you so much. If you know that people don't want to give you that, and you see the pushback, you constantly see that they're just not hearing you. You gave them a chance to do it, and then they did it one time and then completely never wanted to do it again. They came back a month later, 2 months later, tried to do it again because you complained about it again. They don't want to do it. They're not interested. Now, the question is that a big deal to you? Is that a problem to you? Or are you okay with them not doing this? If you want it to happen, keep your boundary. Say, okay, since you don't want to provide the things that I know I need and I fully believe that I deserve, then I need to walk away here. I really had to come to that very clear space. Like, I'm asking for this. I've made it clear I want this. And I had to like get through the gaslighting fears, right? That trauma that I had. Like, no, he's telling me he tried, and he just tried the last time we talked about this. That's true that he just tried the last time I talked about this. This was also fucking 3 months ago. So if I can be confident and I can be clear in the fact that I said I want this, you did not provide it, then I can make a consciously clear decision and say, then you don't want me here. You don't want me here because of the things. If I asked you to do this and you said, yes, you could do this, and then chose not to do it, you didn't want to. And that's okay. You don't have to want it, but you also can stop wanting me. Or you know what? Want me, but from over there quietly, and leave me alone. Because somebody that wants me that's going to put in the work is going to show up. And that's the thing. Okay. And, this is a great question on Instagram. And remember, drop your questions, right? What if you think you'd lose your partner if you were more confident and stood up for yourself? I feel like that's one of those hear it out loud questions. What if you thought you'd lose your partner because you were more confident and stood up for yourself? If you have to stand up for yourself against your partner and then you lose them, you were meant to lose them. I'm right. I don't always talk like this, but I'm right. If you thought you were going to lose your partner by being more confident in the things that you want and you believe in and you desire, and you stood up for yourself and you lost them, you lost baggage. You lost a loser. They lost you. There's nothing wrong with you losing a loser, but they lost you. Bad Girl Mystic ended up with a better partner, now married 20 years, and we love to see it. Amen. You know what, Jesus? Anyway, so that's what it is. You end up with a better partner. You don't lose out on the person that sucked. That's fine. They can go. You always level up. You always do better. And like, that's the thing, especially women. Like, I hope y'all remember that. Like, I remember hearing this from comedians and in shows and things like that from the time I was young in the 90s, like in the early 90s, they talked about this, right? Women level up. Women are if you date a man that has a car when you're 19, no other boyfriend you ever have is never gonna have a car. Like that's not it. It just doesn't happen, right? And things like that. We continue to grow, we continue to level up. And that's what I was talking about in the beginning. Like we always do this. We always want there to be more and there to be growth, but some people don't. And if you become more complex, then you level up and out of the people that are too easy, right? Or that aren't going to do enough for you. Next question. What are the key factors you believe contribute to a long-term relationship, a long-term relationship's success regarding expectations? I would definitely say just the concept of communication. This was also, I think, something from a comedian, I want to say, and maybe it was like, I don't know. Anyway, so the concept, like we renew our contracts for, or at least we used to renew our contracts for our cell phones, our cable bills, our things like that, right? We renew these contracts every year, every other year. We look at who has a better deal. We look at what the options are, what sales, and this, that, and the other. Now, I'm not saying that we need to throw out our partner every year or two and start up with a new one. That's not what I'm saying at all. But it might be a good time to set a boundary to say, you know what, let's review the terms of our contract. Let's review the terms of what we've got going on here. Are we both satisfied? Is this something that we are interested in perpetuating? Do we need to make changes? I feel like we're either not going out on enough dates or I would like more romance, or maybe it's like the amount of sex you're having or time taking care of the household things, right? Or vacations, whatever it is that you want to put in there and you want to discuss with your partner as far as like what the expectations are, what it is that you actually want, then you have to be able to give that information, to express it to a degree, to explain that like, I like this, I want this, right? Now, I'll say this also. When it's a simple thing, if I tell you I want you to come kiss me, I want you to be more affectionate, things like that. And if this is a level that this person used to be at, again, now we've got to evaluate what has changed that now you don't want to do this. What has changed now that all of a sudden that we were at this level, we were doing this, we were insert the thing here, whether it's like just physically being affectionate or being cuddly on the couch or going out on dates or having more sex or less sex or whatever it is, right? If those things were true, what's happening now? Right? And to question it and give yourself some evaluation. Things happen, life changes happen. Maybe you change jobs. Maybe there's a child involved now, or more children than were before, or whatever the situation may be. I know, especially now, like we're also getting older. Some people are having a situation where now you got to deal with what's happening with your partner's parents. Are we caring for your partner's parent, your mom, dad, whatever? How much work is going in there? How does that change the work of the household? How are we participating in this equally, not equally, more or less? Did we agree to this? Like all the things. And if you didn't agree to it, let's have the conversation. It is time. There is time, and it is worth it, especially for a long-term relationship, to have the discussion like, okay, the parameters of our relationship have changed because of life. That just happens. What now? Right? And I feel like we have a lot of conversation around like, oh, well, we talk about bills, or we talk about like who's going to pay for this, or like what you want as far as like, I want to go on a vacation, I want to buy this, I want to have this kind of house. You'll have those conversations, but like living in the house, the everyday activities, very important. And if you don't reevaluate them, they can become either too mundane or they no longer appropriately fit what it is you need and the ways that your household functions. And now you're wasting energy, wasting time. None of that is necessary. So communicating and sharing what it is that you want, reevaluating the terms of your relationship and of the expectations that you have. I know that may be hard to do if you don't have the confidence to speak on it. And I think that that is gonna bring me right to one of the last questions that I have here. Feel free to add in your questions, like I said, in the comments. I would love to answer them. I'm here on purpose. I'm live on purpose. You are here with me. Let's chat. I'm looking at a question. As a confidence coach, how does building self-confidence contribute to sustaining a healthy relationship? And that, whew. Hi Deborah, thank you so much for being here. So the concept of your personal confidence, right? If you are not confident in yourself, let me tell you how it's going to ruin all your relationships. Sorry, not sorry. Hi. Because it's just real. You not being confident in yourself is going to ruin all of your relationships. And it's going to do it in one of two ways. Either you're going to, like I mentioned, the people pleaser situation before, right? If you're not confident in yourself, then anything that anybody else wants goes. And while it's great to be malleable, while it's great to have the space to say, oh, well, I'm just very go with the flow. Like I am a Pisces and a yoga teacher. I am go with the flow like a mug. But you're not going to push my boundaries. So if I feel like that's not something I want to do, I'm not going to do it. If it's somewhere I don't want to be, I'm not going to be there. If it's a space I don't want to inhabit, I'm not going to inhabit that space, because I prioritize how I feel, the way spaces make me feel, the people around, all of that stuff. I do that for myself. Because I know I'm allowed to have those boundaries. But if I didn't, then you can end up in a situation where you're helping somebody at a time where you don't have the time, right? Spending money that you don't have the money to spend, going places that you don't actually want to be. And then that place, it exhausts you mentally, physically, spiritually. The people around you exhaust you mentally, physically, spiritually. Holding your boundaries and not compromising them for others, right? When you do that, you can exist as the most confident version of yourself. You can exist as a strong person. You can exist as a person, but like just an individual entity, right? So when you are confident in existing by yourself, existing with other people becomes a lot easier. And I say that because no, the situation where you don't want to go to the loud party, I'll get to that. That's a good question. When you don't want to go to the loud party, you don't want to be in that space, you don't want to deal with these people. And then here you are, instead of saying, yeah, I don't want to be there, and feeling really confident and comfortable to say, wow, I don't have to be there. I can just do what I want to do tonight. All of my friends are busy, and that's okay. They like that crap. I don't like it. And I'm here and I get to do the stuff that I like. Isn't that fantastic? Like you get to hold on to that space. And versus the concept of, no, I'm going to go and I'm going to torture myself and I'm going to feel like crap and I'm not going to be happy and I'm not going to be fun to be around. I'm not going to enjoy myself. I'm going to be tired tomorrow. I'm going to spend money I don't want to spend. Whatever it is, right? You're going to end up in this negative space and now you hate everybody that's there. It's still going to ruin your relationships. Versus if you were by yourself that night, I got you, boo. Versus if you were by yourself that night and all those people had fun, and then the next time you saw them at the nice, quiet lunch that you wanted to have with the people that you wanted to be there, they can show you the pictures. They can show you the pictures. They can tell you about the good time they had. They can enjoy themselves, relive it, have that same jovial experience. And you can have this experience that you like because you wanted this. You didn't want to be over there. This is not going to ruin your relationship because this is something that feels comfortable to you and this is within your capacity. And so what if those people don't want to have this with you? Then they're not your friends. If your partner doesn't want to hear about the life that you have when you're not next to them, then that's not a good partner for you. If your friends don't want to hear about the life that you have, then you're not next to them, and vice versa. Also, they're not a good friend to you. This is not a relationship that is good for you. This is a relationship that you can let go of. You're not losing when you drop dead weight. You're not losing when you let people go who are not helping or serving you. Um, so as we talk about what are the things, this yes, some people come into your life just for a season. You needed to hear that. I'm glad you needed to hear that, Joe. I'm glad it's landing with you. Jessica is with me as well. This is landing for her. She's right with it. And I love that. I love that you're participating. I appreciate you in the conversation. Joe is an educational consultant. And then I think Deborah asked me a question about teaching class, which I think is a really good tie-in. So one thing is that, specifically what Deborah asked me is, how did I feel about teaching my first class? And I'm a terrible person to ask about this because I was already a classroom teacher for 6 years, 5, 6 years or something like that. So like if teenagers in Brooklyn don't scare you, 10 people on a yoga mat here on purpose aren't going to ever scare you. So that's my life. So I don't know how much I can give you that, but I know a lot of people are scared. And here's the thing, right? When you are setting a space for yourself, which is exactly tying me exactly where I want to be, right? When you're setting a space for yourself, you have to be comfortable with what's happening here. So if you're setting the space for yourself as a yoga teacher, as a person looking for a relationship, as a person in a friendship, if you are setting your space, what does that mean? What does that mean to you? What does that mean comfort wise? What does that mean as far as the way it looks, sounds, feels? I'm not saying that you're going to get exactly that because we can't control the way other people are. We can't. We can't control other people's reactions. We can't control if somebody's louder than you wanted them to be or whatever, right? Like we can't control these other things, but what we can control is ourselves, our actual actions and responses. Everything that somebody does not deserve a response inherently. So maybe it's just an idea. Somebody says something you don't like. You go on a first date and it's just not what you want. You meet up with somebody outside of the office thinking it's going to be a friend. And then you're like, ugh, I don't even want to deal with them. That first experience, that sets the tone. Allow yourself to be so set in who you are and what you want out of a relationship, out of the time, that you know very quickly, very easily, very clearly that this person is not the person you want to spend time with. Or, yes, this person is a person I would like to spend more time with. Don't waste your time. Because what happens is when we accept the pink flag that we saw in the first place that we should not have accepted, when that red flag smacks you in the face, she said from personal experience, it sucks. But you can't say you didn't see it. You can't say that you didn't, because it feels like you didn't see it, but that's not true. You saw it. It came. It happened. And that's really what I feel like the connection between all of it, which is also why when I do my confidence, like when you're a part of my confidence coaching program, that's what we do. We partially do the yoga, so we have the physical movement, and then we also have our coaching sessions and we have the conversations, we have the time, we talk about it, right? We can process and we can develop more of a relationship, mind, body, spirit all together. That's why I teach body confident yoga. I meant it when I said it. The more I learn about yoga, the more I find out what I don't know. That is life. That is 100% life, and that's fine. That is being a good student. That is cool. Ooh, there's a few things over there. Okay. Exactly. I had to do this over the weekend. I was invited to a kids' party, but I had a stressful day the night before, so I knew a loud, noisy place was not for me, so I wouldn't go. Exactly. Simple decision. I want to support you here. My mental health, my physical health, my whatever is stronger and more important than that. And because no matter what, when I leave this party, I have to live with me. You don't have to live with me. Thank you, Deborah. You love my shirt. So this sweater is cut just from a hoodie anyway. The pocket was ripping, so I cut it. But I do sell these on my website, thickthighyoga.com. If you wanted to support, I have hoodies, I have t-shirts, tank tops. I'm always in something that is my brand because that's how I roll. I am my best advertisement as far as I'm concerned. And I was just on with my web developer today. There are some things that are going to drop for the new year and things that are happening. So you'll see that. Just make sure you can turn your notifications on, all that stuff. Me having a vision impaired disability has increased my confidence, which is interesting. That usually is like an impact in the other ways. But if it has increased your confidence, that is awesome. I would love to know more about your feelings there. Um, and I mean, this is really it. The things that you experience, the being more specific in who you are, those things are also going to increase your confidence. And I feel like, if anything, people that are lost the most about who they are, um, the people that are lost about who they are, the people that aren't sure what they're doing, what they like, who they want to spend time around, they are the people that are the least confident, because I don't have anything to believe in. I don't know what it is that I want to support, that I want to throw my energy, my time, my whatever into. I don't know what I want you to do want you to have and want you to focus on, because I don't know myself. It doesn't help. And here we are both just floating in confusion. Harris, are you doing a session? Hi, Abigail. Thank you so much. I love you too, girl. Thank you for being here. This is my Thick Thigh Thursday, and I think, and honestly, I'm coming to a good wrap up here. I want to make sure I answered all the questions, but if you have questions, again, drop them in the comments. I would love to talk to you about it. But we've been talking about, what is it about expectations? What expectations can you set in a relationship? What makes sense? And ways to make adaptations, to grow, to find the most sense of support in your relationship. And I've had some amazing questions and conversation, and people chiming in their experiences. I appreciate you all so, so, so much. This is a good way. All right. So then the last question that I have here, because I think I pretty much answered everything else. I'm doing a quick scroll to make sure. But so can you share strategies for those struggling with confidence communicating their needs? Yeah. So I would love to do that. This is where I would say, if anything, practice, practice, practice. What does that mean? That means that if you know that you want to have, like, you want to practice saying something to someone, practice it. Say it to your dog, your cat, your plant, the book, whatever it is. If you got a stuffed animal, a pillow, say it out loud. Practice out loud, saying it out loud, the words that you want to be able to express and say to someone else. If you feel like you can't do that at this current time, it's hard to say the words, you're choking on the words, practice it. It also, it is important that you are, clear about what you're saying, and that you actually mean that what you want. And I'll say this, you have to have a certain space, creating the space. If the person you're talking to, again, because we're mostly talking about relationships, right? And whether this is a friend, whether this is your partner, this is your mom, whoever, right? If you need to practice saying what you want to say and then say it to that person, cool. If this is, again, practice talking to the plants, I don't care who you say it to, but say it out loud. It might help to write it down, but if you think that you're going to want to go up to this person and be like, I think, and read it again and again, don't do that. Just make it short, make it simple. I don't like this. I want this to happen. I do like this. I want this to happen. So that's another thing. Please, please, please remember the positive. Remember the things that you want to support. Remember the things that you want to encourage. If you feel like you're in a situation where you can actually talk to the person that is sitting across from you and something will happen, right? Or something may at least happen, you have faith or some belief that something is going to happen, then you should actually participate in it in the supportive way, right? Or and then when they try, be supportive of that, be encouraging of the things that they're saying, of the things that they're doing. daily affirmations are a great way to practice saying what you want in a positive way. I know you said something else. I'm sorry, I'll go back to it. But yes, daily affirmations. And it's the same, it's the practice, right? Repeat it to yourself. I posted a set of affirmations, I think probably a month ago. I'll post a new one soon. And it's just something to help you. There's always more. I don't know all the words on the internet. Um, but practice saying what you want. Think about what the reaction is, the response is, what you're going to do if you receive what you want versus if you don't receive what you want. And be reasonable, right? So, like, if you say you want something that's kind of vague, you want flowers from your partner, maybe they've just never done that before. You're allowed to ask and you're allowed to say something. And maybe they come with a nice long single stem rose and you think it's beautiful. And maybe you wanted a set of daisies. Please react positively that they tried, because they genuinely did try and do what you wanted them to do. You can now say, this is really pretty. Thank you so much. And you can acknowledge it and you can be happy and you can give them a hug and a kiss and you can do all the things. And then the next time you have the opportunity, even if it's not then, because you don't necessarily want to ruin their confidence on it. The next time you see the opportunity, oh, I love daisies. I love these. I want a set of these. Or like, I love fresh petunias in the house, or whatever it is that you actually like. Express those things. How the hell am I supposed to know you like them if you don't say anything? And that's always true. That is always true. I don't know. And we want people to be more receptive. We want people to be more like mind readery. And it's like, yeah, no, too bad. Especially if you're not encouraging the things that you're seeing or encouraging what they're saying or doing. I don't know because I don't know. I don't know because it's never been shared with me. Sorry, let me go back. It took me a while to get me to the point I am at now, because I didn't want to disappoint others or make them upset, because I would always hear all the backlash. But once my mental and physical health really started to suffer, I put my foot down and the guilt I felt before started going away. So did the side comments from others. Amen. Right? The more you are confident in what you're doing, then the less people are going to question you and try to create problems. Because the thing is that, like, yeah, you were a people pleaser last week. You were supposed to do what I called you and asked you to do, because you were going to do it last week. And now today you're like, no? How dare you say no when I thought you were going to say yes? So yeah, I'm annoyed about it. I'm upset by it. Too bad. I'm an ass. I am the one being a jerk in that situation. So don't listen to me. Don't allow me to run over you. I should not be able to let this train take you down. Like, that's just not it. I'm going, hi. I wish I could go to one of your classes. I'm in Houston, Texas. Well, about that, remember, I teach international yoga retreats, so you can always come to a class on a vacation and we can live a beautiful life together for a week. I also teach virtually. I'm in class every Saturday, so if you wanted to join class on Zoom from 10 a.m. Eastern, 10 to 11 Eastern, you could do that. And if my classes don't fit in your schedule, I have the Thighberry, which is an online library for all of my, not all, the good quality classes that I record. You can watch those live playbacks if you just want classes from me and you're not sure. And maybe you're saying, well, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know what to do. You can go to my YouTube channel and you can check out a shorter video. You can check out one of my free videos there. Do you like it? Do you have questions? Do you want to work privately to get you into the space to have the endurance to work for an hour? I have all these things. I like to provide these resources and I like them to be accessible, because I feel like yoga is a practice that everybody deserves some access to. I don't believe that online, starting with just video classes versus getting like live feedback, online feedback, like one-on-one, that is way more important starting. If you've started already and you've done it and you just need to hear a different voice in your practice, then that's different. Go ahead, try it out. But pay attention to your body. It taught me to accept my reality and live with myself. Your visual impairment. That's awesome, right? You have to accept reality. I want to be a yoga teacher just like you. You make the world a more beautiful place. Thank you so much. That is so sweet. I mean, I love teaching. I do say, like, I think if you feel called to be a yoga teacher, take the yoga teacher training. Go for it. Because it will change your life. You will meet people that you never thought you would meet. You will make breakthroughs you never thought you would make, as long as you actually want to do it. If you don't want to do it and you think it's just nice, or you think nice people come out of it, and I'm not saying specifically for you, I'm just giving the general, right? If you just think, oh, yoga teachers are always so nice, but you don't feel any calling to give that to the world, don't do it. Just keep coming to class and go to different classes and meet nice people. But if you want to share that, you want to give it, you want to create spaces, this is what I do. This is why I love it too. I love to be able to create comfortable spaces for people in bigger bodies and different bodies and curvy bodies and bodies that we don't see represented in the same way in mainstream media, as and like now we are more, but that didn't exist when we were growing up. So I love being able to create these spaces. And if you feel like there is a space that is based in yoga that you want to create as well, go for it. I think that that's a beautiful thing that you can create for the world. And honestly, I feel the same way about just maintaining your own space. If you as a person, um, if you as a person feel like, yeah, I can provide so much, but I'm holding myself back, I'm not sure about who I am, I'm hiding, I'm confused, all that, maybe it's time for you to take a couple coaching sessions or to join a program. And like, maybe it's not me, right? Like, again, I feel like I'm my best advertisement, but maybe it's not me. Maybe I'm not the one. I don't have to be the one for you. But if you know it's time for something, then it's time to do something. I would love to be the one if you feel like it's an appropriate thing for us to chat. It's like this. We just talk, we just laugh, we just figure out what's happening and we make breakthroughs. And I love it. I love working with people in this capacity. I love talking to people one on one. More so even than like just video chatting, videos that I put up on my on social media. I meant to thank you for the classes on YouTube and online because I've done a couple. Beautiful. Um, I'm thank you because I'm thick and stiff, so I don't want to be around others yet. Listen, take the time that you need to practice in the way that you see fit. I do believe one-on-one private sessions, virtual or in person, are the best way to start. But remember that regardless of what I say, this is your journey and your body, right? Regardless of what anybody says, this is your journey and your body. So if you feel like this, I found an appropriate teacher in my area that I want to work with and I want to go to them, go to them. I'm not hurt. I am excited for you, right? But if you think I'm the one, we do one-on-one sessions. I have early morning clients. I have times also that are available that aren't on my calendar. It's just, let's chat about it first and see where we're going. That's all I want. I just want to figure out where we're going, what you want, and let's do it. So yeah, I'm going to close out here. Thank you for everybody that was here. Thank you for everybody that bought gifts and badges and supported me here. Remember, you can buy my Thick Thigh Yoga merch direct on my website. I have water bottles, hoodies, shirts, tank tops. I got all the stuff. I have other designs. I have cute stuff. I have plant-based things. I have, well, plant mom-based things, not plant-based things. And just all types of stuff. Remember, you can come to a yoga retreat. You can come to a class. I would love to have you. If you are looking for one-on-one online sessions, you can just DM me. You can go to my website. If you see a time that works for you and you're ready to do it, you can book a session. But if you have questions or anything you want me to clarify, I will absolutely do that for you because I want us to start off on a great foot. Okay? Any other questions? Anything else? No? Okay. You guys are beautiful. I am hungry, so I'm going to go to dinner. I'm going to get dinner together, figure it out. I love you all greatly. Thank you so much for being here. And if you have any other questions, this replay is going to be available on YouTube in like 60 seconds. So if you feel like you missed anything, go back to my Thick Thigh Thursday playlist. All of my conversations like this are there too. So make sure that you get it. Okay? If